Hi, everybody. We are the Trust Frequency Embodied, working with the Dance of Souls, a relationship application of the Trust Frequency principles. This is week 3, and we're going to deal with challenging behaviors and triggers, among other things.
Scary.
And I'm Connie Baxter Marlow. And this is Andrew Cameron Bailey. We're going to talk about masks. And this is Wowza Alyssa Lodge, who's going to bring us lots of wisdom and experience and embodied practice. And so first of all, what we're going to do, Wowza's going to come on. We're going to sort of talk about this construct, and then Wowza's going to come on in a little while, and we'll kind of have a little discussion, and then she's going to take us through a practice. So yeah, so here we are, and what I'm going to do is last week I had a PowerPoint that I played, and I don't want to do that because I want to be present. We want to be present here with you. And so I am going to have a PowerPoint to just call forth some important points, because this is complex ideas. And then when we put it up on YouTube, we're going to put the slides in of the PowerPoint, which is what I did with the recording from last week. So this is, in fact, the Dance of Souls, the relationship revolution. And it's evolution.
Evolution.
Revolution, evolution.
The R is in parentheses
because it's
evolving.
evolving.
It's an evolutionary revolution.
Evolutionary revolution. Yeah. In relationships, because once we understand how loved we are by a conscious, loving universe, then that, in fact, there's only free will and the soul's journey to wholeness and love. Once we get that, we can move from victim to beloved. So let's see. So I'm going to just kind of go through these PowerPoint slides. And I've already done the first one. It's a conscious, loving universe. And what we didn't do last week is we didn't go into our definition of humanity. So can everybody mute themselves who isn't muted at this point? And that'd be great. And so our definition of humanity in our book, The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. This is a key definition that we use. And it is that we are a collection of divine, autonomous, sovereign beings. You want to do the rest?
Who have chosen
to incarnate on earth with a gift and a purpose on our soul's journey to wholeness. So
I could actually do that really well, but when it gets broken up like that, it's hard to know where you are in that amazing statement that Connie came up with. Isn't that beautiful? Humanity is a collection of divine, autonomous, sovereign beings who chose to incarnate on earth and grow on the soul's journey to wholeness with a gift and a purpose. And how many people know that? Because once we know that, and once we actually accept that and manifest our lives from that perspective, wow, what a difference from what most people are experiencing.
And what our journey to wholeness is, because we are whole. All of creation is one big whole. But what this, in our definition and in this work, is our journey to wholeness is our journey to self-love and self-acceptance, alignment with our divinity and our gift. Because the whole universe is awaiting our gift, which is us, the gift we promise to bring to the party of life. So we want to have this as a foundation, so we understand we chose, that was our overarching act of free will when we incarnated. And I figured this out because I was trying to figure out what's, okay, determinism and fate and free will, that paradox. And this is what I came up with, this overarching act of free will. Hey, conscious loving universe, I'm going to Earth on this life walk to work on this and this. So I'm going to incarnate into a family, and I'm going to magnetize. My soul is actually going to ask for behaviors and experiences. And if I don't actually get them, I'm actually going to flip certain experiences so that I can take it on as a wound, so that I can go on this hero's journey, heroine's journey, through life, through all these experiences that my soul is calling in to show me those parts of myself I don't love yet, that are in the back in my subconscious. And here I've got these mirrors of these people. Once I get the wounds, I've called in the wounds, and then my journey up into adulthood is going to be to bring in those mirrors to show me those parts of myself I don't yet love, as their gift to me.
And it's called the dance of souls. And you always dance with a partner, but our primary partner is actually ourselves. So it's partly about our dance with ourselves as we learn to accept and love ourselves, to get our self-esteem elevated. And then all of the relationships that come into our lives, the friends, the sweethearts, the children, the parents, the bosses, whoever they may be, are here to their mirrors because of the undivided oneness of the universe. What's up with all these other people? They're all aspects of ourselves. They're all mirrors. We're all mirrors of each other. And we're here to help each other on this journey to wholeness.
And transmute all this fear and separation and scarcity that humanity is laboring with, that shadow piece of humanity and the systems we've put in place and the behaviors we've developed. We're here to transmute that for all of creation. So it's a big job we came here for. And we've been doing a great job so far, dancing around in our shadow and denying our shadow and projecting and doing all this stuff. But that time is over. It's time to clean it up, go inside, get our vibration up, clean up our auras, clean up our subconscious so our vibration can go up, so we can join the earth as she moves up to a higher vibration. So this is a different perspective on the whole shooting match. So we want to just know that we had an overarching act of free will that gave the universe permission to take us on this journey, and gives everybody else in the world the permission to be our mirror. So
it's an evolutionary process, and I am not the only one evolving. We are all, each of us, every one of us evolving. And it's not just us. It is planet Earth is evolving. Gaia is evolving. Our solar system is evolving. In fact, the entire universe is coming into being every second throughout the 13.8 billion years of evolutionary time from what is known as the Big Bang. Some people say it wasn't a Big Bang at all. That's a whole other story.
It was a big breath.
Yeah, I see it as that. I see it as an exhalation. And it's just this manifestation of creative energy that results in all of this extraordinary beauty that has manifested in the universe. And each of us is beautiful and precious. And look around you on this planet. Is not everything absolutely beautiful? Look up into the sky. Look up with the assistance of the Hubble Space Telescope. What are we seeing? Extraordinary, almost unimaginable beauty. And as that's a part of our evolution, we humans appear to have evolved to develop technology to enable us to figure out even more and deeper of who we are and what we're a part of.
And it was just discovered in 2018 that, in fact, we are one undifferentiated whole. There's a whole breakthrough science that is showing us that. So very soon we're going to just get it, and everything's going to change, because we're going to see that we are part of the sacredness and oneness of all life.
which is what the indigenous people and the rishis of the ancient Himalayas back in India 5,000 or 6,000 years ago was saying exactly what science, quantum science, current physics is now revealing to us. And an interesting question came up. Why does science have to validate what we've always known? Interesting, but it does help.
Well, I said it to my daughter yesterday. I said, yeah, and science is proving all this because we've been talking about it with the trust frequency and everything for decades. And she just laughed. I mean, she actually laughed. She said, it's just so funny that people have to have science prove what some of us, she didn't say some of us, but which is so obvious to her because she has some very special abilities that aren't obvious to everybody, but she just laughed and said, it's just so funny.
So she is a seer, one who sees.
Yeah, she is.
And the seers see reality, they see the truth.
Exactly. And we've just had this paradigm that separated us from our hearts and from that knowing, because we've all been in our heads. And now it's time to connect the head and the heart, and then we see what these seers see. So it's all very exciting. But let me just say one thing. This process that we're taking you through with the dance of souls is something our soul self came here for, but our ego self is petrified of it because the ego self has put itself in place. Hey, hi. I'm this, I'm that, I'm successful, I'm smart, I'm cool. I go to the soup kitchen and I help out and I'm a good person and I'm successful and I did well in school and all that. But what the soul self is saying, hey, what's under that? What's under that persona that we've put out from that's showing people, telling people what they want to see, and what's under that is
what we think they want to see.
What we think
don't
they
really know. I think everybody wants to see the real me. But somehow I got fooled into thinking I need to put on this mask, and I'll show up as this guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. And Wowza's going to take us through some processes. Wowza is an expert at this whole mask thing. So in this process, we make the big flip. I just came up with that last week. The big flip from victim of circumstance to beneficiary of circumstance. We learn that circumstance loves us more than we do because we've got this persona. We think, oh, that's great. But guess what? Circumstance says, oh, no, you didn't want to come here to be that. You wanted to come and be your true divine self gift, the essence of who you truly are. So, and once we make this big flip, the work begins. Right?
But it's good work.
It's
fun.
Good work, but it's work. And it's lifelong. Wowza's going to share with you. She's 83 years old. And she just shared with me a story that happened to her today or yesterday. Okay, on this journey. And she's been very conscious for many, many years, and it works with people and coaches people. And man, she was right there in the dance a couple of days ago, or yesterday, or today. I'm not sure when, but she'll share with you.
All right.
So, okay, now it's an inside job. Okay, it's not about them, it's about us. And you know that old adage, don't take anything personally, that came through the four agreements. Well, and from our perspective, it's okay, time to take it all personally, because we are the script writer of our movie, and whatever's happening in our lives, we've written the script for it because we have work to do. We have this journey to self-love. So It's that time now to take it personally, especially when it triggers us. Okay, the trigger is the emotional feeling that we are feeling that says, oh, defend yourself, oh, whatever it is. Then we know it's work for us. It's not about the other person. So let's see. Do you have any thoughts on that, Andrew?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm speechless.
So thoughtless,
empty-minded.
So it's about the difference between my persona and the real me. So, and what we're going to have a bit of a look at in this hour is our mask. Andrew's been dancing with his mask, his African mask. He grew up in South Africa. So that's probably where he got his mask, whatever mask he has going on. And so, yeah, so here we go. What have we done? And I'll ask you folks to ponder this in your own life, and you can take notes, make notes of what mask have we put on to show up and be accepted and be successful and be accepted in school, so we weren't sent to the principal's office and all that, you know, for looking out the window and daydreaming or not showing up or whatever. So what we've armored our hearts in this process with these wounds and with this victim perpetrator reality that we've been growing up in, this paradigm of victim perpetrator, that poor pitiful me. And so I've armored my heart against this world. And how have I shown up? How has my armored heart shown up? And we don't even know, those of us who haven't experienced extreme trauma, those of us, you know, that it's been very subtle, we don't even know how our heart is armored. So I would number amongst those people, because I haven't experienced extreme trauma. So, but I know my heart is armored to some degree, and I have been working on it so much of my life to break through. And I've had relationships that have shown me aspects of myself. So this armored heart, how do we show up? Do we know it all? Are we like, yeah, I know it all. I'm smart. Or do we talk a lot? We know lots of folks who talk a lot, you know, so they talk a lot because then they don't have to ever have anybody talk to them, perhaps. Or some people are really shy, so you barely even know they're there. Or some people are just so controlling, they've got to be in charge of every situation. Some have sarcastic humor. You know, so that's, yeah, they're really funny, but guess what? They're not really funny, because sarcastic humor is really a low form of humor in my world. And some people are just so helpful. Okay, I'm just so helpful. I'm just there for you. I'm there for everybody. So these are masks of the armored heart. And there's many more. So I would suggest you just think about your behaviors and think about, okay, how is it that I show up that isn't the true me, isn't actually me? Because that shy person could be a true extrovert. Underneath all that shyness, oh, I'm going to be shy because nobody wants to hear from me. I'm just going to be quiet and not be heard, because nobody wants to hear from me anyway, because I don't have anything to say, because I'm really stupid or I'm worthless or don't matter. So I'll just play the shy card and get away without having to be confronted, engage and be confronted and be told I'm stupid. So I just want you to give some thought to that. And then here's something else to think through. And this is a speed course, and a course that we have online, which is called The Dance of Souls, the Relationship Revolution. And it's on socialchrysalis.com. And that's the learning platform that that's on. So if you want to take more time with this, I suggest you go to our course. But meanwhile, we've looked at our mask, our persona, and now we're going to have a look at repeated behaviors and triggers that show us what's in our subconscious. So let's see what those challenging behaviors and triggers are. So let's see. Do you want to go through them? Can you see them without your glasses? Or
I can, yeah. So people can be mean. They can not listen. They just don't hear anybody but whatever's going on inside their own heads. Connie, you've got these written in ways I don't fully.
Okay.
They're not just something I can read.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, well, you can discuss them.
Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So Connie's got a list of things here. Don't listen. Let me down. People let us down.
Yeah. Continually.
For a reason.
Yeah.
It's repeating behavior. If I go through life and everybody I get involved with lets me down, oh, what does that mean? What looking in that mirror? What's up?
Yeah. And instead of making them bad and wrong, you've let me down. We're going to take you through a little process that takes it inside.
Favorite. I see you got my favorite in there.
Yeah.
Accuse me unjustly. One of the things I really have trouble with is, what is it again?
What? Being unjustly accused.
Being unjustly accused. In other words, I do my best to be honest. And if somebody comes and says, hey, you didn't do what you said you'd do, and it's true, then I just go, wow, really, I'm sorry. But what if I did do what I said I would do? What if if that is an accusation of something that I'm not guilty of? That I find frustrating and infuriating and challenging.
And because this is a core issue, so we mentioned core issues before, so this becomes identifiable as a core issue. Okay, so what one can do is take in the information as though one's being accused when the other person isn't even thinking that they're accusing you of anything. And then you get triggered because it's really important for you to flip that in and get in touch with that trigger. That means you have work to do. Do you see what I mean? So that it's a really amazing dance of souls here that we've been dancing in with this unjustly accused thing. And
you do it all the time.
And I do it all the time.
Is that repeated behavior?
Is that repeated behavior? Well, when he flips into his triggers, he goes into being another person and accuses me of stuff, his defensive behavior.
Unjustly?
Yeah, he accuses me of stuff. And so all of a sudden I'm in an unsafe environment, and I think I've identified it as trust issues. And I have to work on my trust issue because all of a sudden I'm in an unsafe environment because he's flipped into his triggers and I didn't know I was unjustly accusing him. I was just mentioning something. We'll take that, darling, right? Should we kiss and make up? Anyway, so we've got another challenging behavior. People don't trust me. Okay, so, and people abandon me. So they don't go to the movies when they say they're going to. They don't show up when they promised they would. And we took on a wound when we were a young baby, a young child, that mom abandoned me because she didn't make it to the crib when I cried because she was in the shower. And we took on an abandonment issue. And then we've got to have people all through our lives not showing up for us. abandoning us, showing us and taking us into our abandonment issues, our core issue of abandonment. Because let's go a little further, a little deeper with this. How does it make me feel? This is the key. How does it make me feel? Okay, so this is the work to do if you're going to want to work with this process right now. How does it make me feel? Unlovable, stupid, ugly, worthless. They're abandoning me because I'm worthless, weak, guilty, unworthy. So all those feelings that I feel, I use to describe how that person made me feel instead of making them bad and wrong for it. Okay, you made me feel unlovable. Okay, that's the word to go inside and say, how do I feel I am unlovable? It's a big deal. It's a big shift because it's so much easier to make them bad and wrong for making me feel unlovable, when in fact, that's my feeling that I feel about myself. You made me feel unworthy. You just went off and didn't even say goodbye. And that's because you made me just feel unworthy. I don't want you around in my life. You're making me feel unworthy. Well, guess what? That's the gift that person who's responding to your soul is giving to you.
So there's a question there. Can another person make us feel anything? Or is that me reacting to my perceptions of your behavior, your action?
That's brilliant, my darling. That's totally brilliant. Exactly. Really well put. That's what's up.
So if I'm truly in the state we call the trust frequency, and I'm truly grateful to everybody who comes along and challenges me, what's up with people making me feel bad?
Yeah,
huh?
Exactly.
In other words, if we can evolve to that state, if our hearts are that open, when these challenging behaviors occur, it gives us the wonderful experience of being kind of immune to those feelings that might have taken us down in the past and caused a fight or an argument or something other than gratitude. Because if you're in the trust frequency, you are totally grateful for everything that occurs, because we know that everything is occurring for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. In other words, if something is going on that I wouldn't have chosen, wow, thank you. It's going to show me, teach me something that I didn't know I needed. And what a blessing that turns out to be.
Beautiful, beautiful, really well said. So what we're going to go into now is defense mechanisms.
Ooh, I'm going to put my mask on.
What do we do to defend ourselves? Okay, that's another thing. You can take out another piece of paper and put in defense mechanisms, what we do. So here we put on a mask, but then other aspects are we leave the relationship. We say, you're bad and wrong. Hello in there. Oh, you're bad and wrong. I'm out of here. So we leave the relationship.
And that was a great thing she just said. She said, hello in there. Because everyone we're face to face with has the possibility of showing us a mask. We're seeing something that's not necessarily real. I may imagine you're something or some way. You may be putting up a front or a mask. And I love that. Hello in there.
Hello in there.
Because there's something in there. There's somebody in there. It turns out to be me.
Right.
This beautiful mirror and reflection of my divine, autonomous, sovereign self.
Yeah, perfect. Beautiful. So we become passive aggressive. We get depressed. We drink alcohol. We take drugs. We annihilate the other. Okay, hey, guess what? You're bad and wrong, and we turn them to ashes, to dirt, just to belittle them down to, and we accuse them of things. And so all of a sudden they're in defense of themselves and then it spirals down, and then they go into attack, and then it's like rolling in the mud from there on out. So those are some defense mechanisms, and it's really important to look at one's defense mechanisms. So let's see. So here we are in the big flip from blaming others to acknowledging our journey. And this is the scary job our soul self is longing for and our ego self is desperately afraid of. So know that this is not easy. Our ego self is just going to cling to the old behaviors and say, no, 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 I've protected you all this time. I've gotten you where you wanted to go, and I'm not letting go. And you don't really want to let go because look what all you've accomplished. But guess what? It's what our soul came here to do, is to become the true self and align with it and love it and bring our true gift to the party of life. So yeah. And it's time. Okay, it's time now for us to face our shadow, bring it into the light and release it. Those parts of ourselves we don't love are our shadow. And it's time, up and out. And humanity bringing it up and out. And that's what's going on right now, is we're facing our shadow. It's great work. It's important work. It looks messy and horrible, but so important because the earth is transitioning into a higher frequency. So we've got to do this work so we can keep up with her, so we can bring peace on earth and heaven on earth and all the things that are givens in a higher frequency, generosity, ease, and grace, and all those wonderful things that are in a higher frequency. So we've got lots to look forward to. We just have lots of work to do to get there. So change your assumptions and the world changes with you. And that's what the Trust Frequency book is all about. So get our book, The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm, and enjoy your new lease on life. And now we're going to talk to Wowza Alyssa Lodge and have some fun with her. Do you have anything more to say, Andrew?
I think that's great, Connie. And we're going to be unwrapping a whole bunch of really interesting, deep layers of the onion as these weeks go on. So I think that's good for now. Let's embody these ideas.
Yeah.
Let's see if Wowza can bring us down into these bodies and get us moving. And here we are.
So Wowza.
Great. Yeah. I just want to say one thing to start. Living and being in a conscious, loving universe means I was born in divine love.
Oh, beautiful.
That is my nature. That is all that I am, for all that I am. And that one idea has then given me the courage to be able to look at the dance of souls with some, I don't want to say distance, but of seeing that we are multidimensional beings and that each one of these maskings that we've had to wear was our survival. And I just want to say something about that infant that was born in love. Is that everything about it, we see it. I mean, the glory of movement. Can we just again, throw our arms up? I mean, oh my God, look at the universe. Look at the sky, as Andrew was saying, I mean, look, I'm looking out at boats in a harbor and water, a marina. I mean, I'm swimming in a marina right now. The incredible imaginal abilities, the energetics, and the ability to see deceit. How quickly a little child, it knows, without a word. We had original intelligence, such brilliance. And then, stop that. Behave. Don't you ever talk to me like that, young man. Oh, I'll give you really something to talk about. I mean, I mean that I've actually, as a professional actress, I mean, I have literally gone into a little child, you know, and I developed literally a whole emotional fitness. What is it you do? You somebody, and I would then, as a meditation or an emotional yoga. Could we do that just for a minute? Just imagine someone yelling at you as a little, very infant, and you go, oh, you would do it, Andrew, just lift your hands up for a minute. Just that, oh, I mean, what do you do? I mean, that shock, oh, that protection, right? The eyes, a certain look, the hands. Now let's say that it goes away. I mean, we saw, now watch my body. See, if it doesn't happen too frequently, the baby, the child, young child goes back to a normal, free, you know, here we are. Now it gets 2 times, three times. Fine, you know, but guess what? Can you see? I wish the screen was a little bigger, but I don't know I'm doing this. This was just, you know, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. And then I've got a little tilt here, and I've got a little pull there, and then I've got a cute little voice, even though I might be 50 years old, because it was that little voice that Daddy did love. Oh, he loves little nice, sweet girls. And here I am 50 years old and wonder why nobody takes me serious. You know, it's like, oh, because there was no mirroring. More sketching and tracing that we could together. And I do give this one thing with your children, with your spouse, with your friends, you can let them in on it. It's just this little mirroring game. Hey, do you want to play Dance of the Souls? You know I've got behaviors. Come on, you've seen it. But if we can, like kids, see what do kids do? They play with it. That is their theater. The ego and all, see, okay, don't hurt, I'm sorry, you know, and the whoop, and I've got some, you know, I got characters here, my God, you know, and where I did the math, the masks are the most quickest. I mean, you go through, you know, party store right now with Halloween, 99-cent store for $1. You can get the most incredible stuff. You cut out the mouth so that there's more expression to be, you know, using your voice. And the judge, fire! Oh, what on earth? You never listen to me. You sit down and behave. And I'm going to tell you something, young man, that you will never forget. I mean, it just goes on and on. You know, I mean, and then it's like, oh, but there's a secret in the mask. See, when you can play that little helpless child, that becomes a habit. Even successful woman doing all of her stuff, you can still see that there's a little inhibited child in there. When it can be played, what happens is that each one of these roles have a treasure of energetics that is beyond anything we know. It is the greatest secret of ageless vitality, by the way, because out of that little child, and when I got into her, I really recommend, take your hands now for a moment, and do whatever you can, a little quivering voice. I mean, it's an art. It's pure, I mean, like the greatest actor in the universe playing that little fragile child. And just, oh, and this little, oh, you make that little sound. Oh, oh, oh. You know, oh, come on, Andrew. Oh, you can do it. Oh, oh, yeah. You know, see that one, see, all of a sudden, that's exactly what happens. The greatest joy can come out, and not as ridiculing, right? I mean, it's showing some respect, and guess what? If it's all love, that's all it ever wanted. It only wanted our love. It only wanted, oh, come out, little shy one. Say, come out, little spunky one. Oh boy, there he is. There he is. Look at him go. Or, oh my God, we're going to be smart today. You know, and pulling out the book. I mean, then we clap. We clap. Can we recreate these roles consciously? 40, 50, 60 years of expressive arts therapy and professional acting, all that. Even the greatest acting schools, Lee Strasberg Actors Studio, looked at every character, how we can embody character. Nobody looked at the character we were in.
Uh-huh.
I was sitting next to, literally, I'm dropping names. I was sitting next to Marilyn Monroe. Jane Fonda was on the other side. Jack Nicholson. I mean, it was like 60s, the creme of the creme. And I have never seen such frightening people in my life. I knew Marilyn Monroe a year before she died. And we had a scene together. And I got to see her terror. There was a terror in here. And then what she did to slow it down, she slowed down the terror. And that gave her that fragility and that sexy sexual energy that made her famous. But she could never take off the mask. And it terrified her. And underneath, you know, I mean, terrified. And I wanted to also say something that I was raised, you know, as an ugly duckling, the skin disease I had mentioned over half my body, you know, again, the town leper, and where I really began to heal. You know, this is just one, I've had many, I had a whole series of ugly masks. Because it was when I could really be inside it consciously and see what that mask was holding and what was the potential within it and what was the story. So here's my ugly. You don't know what it's like. I mean, to have people, you know, just, there she is. Oh, don't get near her. You'll catch it. Ooh, don't do it. Ooh. And I took it all that I'm gonna, yes, I'm all ugly. You know, it just, you know, to really feel in the, then suddenly see, you can see the perpetrators in a way you never have before. And then, boy, like any of these pieces, I mean, to become again, don't you dare talk back to me. Don't you dare. You know what's going to happen to you. I mean, whoa, and the energy. So all of a sudden you take all that off and you just play the energy of it just for a second. Play the energy of the, you know, the power monger. Oh, can I hear the, oh, come on. Oh. I'm bigger and better. I'm going to take over the world. Where have we seen that? You know, and these posturings. But they can be a yoga. The moment, if you have a perpetrator, somebody, you know, that's taking on the role, it would behoove you for a few seconds to play that. Because that part could be coming to you, for what reason? To balance out your own energy that has maybe gotten so soft, so feminine, so sweet. You know, the house burned, the dog died, I got a great promotion, and everything is on. You know, flatline behavior. Flatline behavior, it doesn't change. Then we know we're in a roll. And so these things, and then what was my saving grace? Oh, I have to do this one. Foolishness. How many people play the game of foolishness? There's a moment, there's that little child doing this little thing, or that young girl or boy, you know, look at me, Ma. And Daddy, for whatever reason, comes out and says, "Will you stop acting so silly? Really? A grown, and the boy's 12, a grown man like you. Acting so silly." You could just see what happens. And this thing of making fools of can stop the genius of geniuses fast. And then you're, "Oh, great, I gotcha." Ooh. So I would, "Yeah, everything you say about me is true. I am the holy fool." And at last, my dear, you no longer have to have the fear of making fools of yourself. Everything you say about me is true. Of course I'm a holy fool. I love my holy foolishness. Ooh, on her is going to play with that one. So it's ownership with some humor and the play as we all did as young children. And then the beauty treatment of, always having, always thinking I'm an ugly duckling. I was a beauty queen, a famous one. Underneath, there was always just that look, not with when I'm out there, everything's wonderful, with peers, kids my own age. It's just how much that little wounded child would come out after 5 beauty queen things. And so one of the ways, and getting older and looks changing and and all of those things that we do to get ourselves, lovable, is I took on the neutral mask. And I must have spent years in this particular mask. I have had literally thousands of people, and including ministers from one side, "No, my God is on my side and not your side." That's the whole dance of separation and divisiveness that creates the mask in the first place. That we have been cut off from source, and we're going to do everything to hide that fact. And so this particular mask was the Holy Child. And way before wounding, way before your mother and father conceived you. And it's just suddenly to see the world with clear, pure eyes.
I love that mask.
Oh. See, I see, there's that, See, no matter what the mask, see, we do a few this, then we go outside and we go to the party and we go, there's that little mask, the judge. You can go just tweak its cheeks, I mean, you can play with the guy. And there you see the lovely little lady, all attractive. And then there's that entrainment, where you can go, "Oh gosh, there's something about your posture that just so reminds me of a part of myself and how much I've had to hold in." I don't know if it's the same for you. But, just opening up life force and breath and, willingness to see we really are in a loving universe. And going, wow, and here again, take our hands. And just imagine a little child discovering how to get those hands up, Andrew. Let me see your hands. Yeah. See, yeah. And then it's like, just this one for a minute. Parting the veil. Parting the veil. Parting the veil. It's lifting off the blocks of the head, just for a second. See, a feather duster. It's really fun. Feather dust each other of all your blocks. See, it's great energy. See, and then there's just this, there is nothing but that universal self. And it's true what he said, and that Andrew acknowledged. Oh, hi in there. Is it lonesome? You you're hungry? Anything you need? it's just where the heart opens again, and we really see who we're seeing, and that we're all in it together now. I really feel the next edge of this whole evolutionary dance is this mutuality of who we really are as one, of that God force, of that Homo Amore Universalis. Yay!
Barbara Marx Hubbard,
Oh,
Albert.
yeah, we're all the new pathfinders.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to be judged. See, there's going to be, I mean, it's just automatic. You know, there's like a test market. Well, gee, they think they're so spiritual. Take this, right? Take that, take this. And of course, if we get to, you know, we get defensive or we get protective, it got us back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it's all a process.
It's all a process.
For us to look at it and say, hey, yes or no, or hey,
Right.
it's not, and
Right.
going forward into our divinity and bringing peace
And
on.
mirrors, to look in the mirror. When you really feel the trigger, when you really feel the stuff, go to a mirror as fast as you can. Hold it. And just look at this. It's like a stranger. You know, and how would you relate to this stranger that really believed this is who they are? And so you start to be your own therapist. You start to be your own coach. Oh, come on, baby. I see you. I'm safe. Come on. You know? Oh, I don't know about this. This doesn't feel safe to me. And maybe a little inch. And I do this with people. Take your hands, just 2 seconds more. Take your hand to your heart. Just like you're holding something in the most precious, no, right out here. Just like you're holding something precious in your hand. And then, no, see, is it safe? Is it safe? Like a door here in your heart. This is a door in your heart. And start spreading it out. Is it, no, bring it in. See, bring it, no way, breathe, take it easy, relax the shoulder. Come on, a little more, and open those eyes. See with peripheral vision. Is there any danger happening in this house right now? I don't know. Oh, then it's coming from your mind. The story you're telling yourself, bring it in. Wait a minute. So you make it safe for yourself. How much am I willing to open? How much excitement and inspiration do I deserve this moment? And then dazzle yourself in that mirror. And when you can do it with each other, you see, you're just, come on, turn to each other just for a second. You're tiny yet, you don't know about this. Do I trust here? And then slowly opening it. So you're just like, whoa, and then closing it. You can close down, close it in. Yeah. And then peek, a little peek. Not that much peek. But you get my drift. Oh, see, it's so sweet, We're learning how to play again in the great spiritual realms.
Yeah.
Play has gotten a bad rap, seriously speaking. Yeah.
Andrew's always said you're his sacred actor.
My sacred acting coach.
Yeah.
And all of you folks out there, realize that you are getting some free theater training in the great theater of life, the dance theater of life. What would be more extraordinary? So,
from this beautiful.
I am the sacred actor. I like to roar my feelings.
And she's
How can you be, depressed in that?
She's been on such an amazing journey to this very place at 83 years old to bring up this ageless vitality and
baby
wisdom.
what was the story you were going to ask her to tell?
Oh, I don't know if she wants.
Oh gosh, yeah. Just to say, it's true. We have this whole storyboard inside. I believe, that I was really stupid. They didn't fill out their individual report card with failure. They just took a failure and they put it over the whole report card. The whole report part was this failure. Oh, give me a break. I mean, I have been trying my whole life to be smart. And I failed miserably.
Oh no!
Yay!
But see, we can laugh. That was the thing, you know. I mean, and then we see when we have a little distance, you know, we can just go, "Oh my gosh, what a sweet thing to play." Then it becomes, "Oh, what a great part to play." I give my eye teeth to play that part.
And you were just playing it, weren't you, a couple days ago?
Right. And it was like, yeah, it was being the enemy. It was being the perpetrator in playing back to the person with no judgment. I just want, I want that energy. Boom, boom, boom. I want that energy and to take on his energy.
John.
And
okay, we gotta we've gotta cut it now. It's the men are trying to get in and get on.
Wrap up time.
So wrap up time is coming up.
Who's where?
And so it's great, Wowza.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thank you so much.
It was truly, truly wonderful. I can't wait till we can do this live.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Wowza. Thank you, everybody.
We're gonna jump off
I just
Facebook
want to
Live.
address our beloved listeners and watchers
go ahead.
Yeah. So really, what do you think, folks? This is fun, it's interesting, and it's transformational, and it's evolutionary. How much fun is that? So thank you. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Wowza, we love you. Take care.
Bye, darling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.